Boom. And we are live from the Nosebleeds with fucking doing AT&T's job again
AA and TNT, you
because their
suck.
shit is pissing me off and it's gotten to the point where I'm just ready to fucking cut ties with internet altogether
Man, he's going offline.
and do like Woody Harrelson did on what is it? That movie 2012 where it was like the end of times and the world started flooding
Oh yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
and he
yeah.
had like all that terrestrial radio on it banging on
Yeah.
a mountaintop. That's
That's
fucking
what you're
about
gonna
what
do.
I'm ready to do.
I think you should.
I'm about ready to put all that shit on the roof with a little room. Is that me? Is it we look good?
Ooh, hang on.
Dustin's checking it out.
I'm trying to anyway.
Because now I'm gonna have to edit this shit because we have 3 minutes of us just staring at the computer, wondering what the hell was all.
Manny tells me he's fixed the internet. I come over here. We're getting 2 megabits per second.
I don't get it, man. They've been out. AT&T's been out twice in the last like 12 days. Obviously, two different techs, and they just can't get their shit together. This is very, very disappointing. It's extremely disappointing.
So AT&T, if you're listening, because we know you are, you suck.
I mean, seriously though, it's just a solid pain in the ass is all it is. So
That's why I said screw them, and I went and got my own router, my own modem.
I might have to do that,
I
man.
can't trust those punks.
I might have to do that.
Went to Xfinity for the internet. Now I'm running just fine.
I mean, Jesus. I mean, but it looks okay over there.
We're looking good. I'm looking good. I don't know how you're looking.
I
I
look
look
good
good.
because I updated my computer, bro.
Hey, welcome to 2018.
Like I have mountains on it whenever it starts up now.
Yeah, hey, you got the last
Like,
operating system, not
is
the current
that
one, but the one before that. That's good.
like Sierra or whatever it was?
Oh,
I don't even remember.
even better.
I think it started with an M. As a matter of fact, I don't know.
Mojave.
Mojave. That's exactly what it was. Mojave.
So you have sand dunes, not mountains.
Yeah, they're probably sand dunes.
Yeah,
I don't pay too much attention. I don't
they look like that.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah,
what it looks
you
like.
have Mojave. Way to go!
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, Manny.
Well, I mean,
Manny
we talked
finally
about it last
updated.
time. We talked about it last time, and I said, dude, I would update the damn laptop if it would give me an update to update with. And I kept going to check for updates, and then one day, out of nowhere, I think it was probably Wednesday. What's today? Friday.
I don't even.
Probably
Yeah, it is Friday. Yeah.
Wednesday when I got home. I turned the laptop on and look up some stuff, and boom, there it was. Do you wish to update your laptop?
It's probably because it finally got an internet signal for the first time in 2 years.
And then I said yes, and then it started, and I came back and checked on it and said you have to plug power to your laptop in order to finish this update. And I'm like, well, now I got to go find the cord. I mean, it was horseshit, dude. It was bullshit,
I still think it's the cords behind your walls that are screwing you up.
and it very well may be. Who knows?
Let's hope that football goes better than your internet tomorrow.
Well, it all depends on who you're watching. I don't know if I want all the football to go the way uh my internet goes. Just some of it.
Just some of it.
Just some of it. In particular, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that Mitchell Trubisky is as good as people want to lead on, or as he's not as good as his season has played out.
Yeah.
So to avoid the Mitchell Trubisky hype train, I'm really hoping the Eagles go in and do a number on him. And that has nothing to do with Holly because I mean, whatever. Um, but I really hope the Eagles go into Chicago and do a number on him. And not only that, but it'll kind of cement what Nick Foles is to the Eagles. And at this point, I mean, if he goes into Chicago's and he wins, and then they have to go to New Orleans and they at least compete. I mean, you got to think about keeping Nick Foles over Wentz, right? Because they were a totally different team with Wentz quarterbacking.
That's not going to happen.
I don't think Wentz is good. I mean, I think he's good, but I don't think he's like.
I don't think Wentz was right to start the season. I think he tried to rush back way too quick from that surgery.
Really, you think so?
Yeah, I do, because he did not look like the same person in the first few games. Here's my thing. I tweeted this out a while back. I want Philly to win. It's the only time in my life I've ever wanted Philly to win anything because I want them to win there, and then I want them to beat New Orleans. So when Dallas wins tomorrow and then beats LA, Dallas can play Philly and beat them to get into the Super Bowl. That's what I want.
You're like you sound like Texans fan, bro.
Dude, there is nothing better that would be better than to beat Philly for the for the NFC championship and then go to the Super Bowl because you beat Philly. That to me is the ultimate. Uh, yeah, that would be the best. Now that said, I think the Bears win tomorrow or Sunday. I think Trubisky is the real deal. I liked him coming out. Um, I had called the Bears to win their division and play for the conference championship. So I'm gonna stick with that, or divisional championship. I'm gonna stick with that prediction.
I don't know,
I
man.
think they're good,
I just
especially at home.
God, man. I just
That
think
defense.
Nick Foles is. I don't know, man. I just because he's got obviously he had the right coaching last year, and he's got the right coaching this year.
Does he?
Yeah, because without Nick Foles, they don't make the playoffs.
How many games have we seen him play? 4.
I think he's 4,
5?
right? 4-0, 4-1.
He sucked at the beginning of the season. So the question is, are they doing something different with Nick Foles, or is Nick Foles doing something different with Nick Foles?
Well, I mean, not only that, but they got rid of, or they didn't get rid of, but what was the running back's name? Ninjago?
Yeah.
Ninjago?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
I mean, the fact that he went down kind of put more onus on the quarterbacks to make more plays, and I think that was a difference that kind of turned their season around for him. But I don't know, man. I think Nick Foles is good, man. I think he deserves to be a starter. Obviously, he won a Super Bowl last year, and you know he. I mean, come on, man. With Carson Wentz, they were dead in the water. They weren't even. I mean, it's hard to say because you say, well, Carson Wentz got hurt. He didn't play. How would the season have played out if he'd have kept playing? Well, I don't know, but it wasn't going very well when he was playing, you know? But then again, I guess everyone not well, I don't know, you pay more attention to that division than I do. Everyone really got off to a shitty start in the NFC East, right?
Yeah, it was bad. So to end the season, Philly played Redskin. Yay. Foles beat Texan, which
He played well in that game.
he played fine. He beat Ram. And oh look, they lost to Cowboy. And they beat Redskin before that. So I think if I remember right, Foles' first game was against Redskin at the beginning of December.
And they went what, 4-0 in December?
No, they went 4-1.
They went 4-1 to close out the season.
Right.
And what were they before? They were
abysmal.
6
no one thought they were getting in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. It's I mean, you got to credit to Nick Foles for coming in, stepping up, and
You played the Redskins twice. You lost to the Cowboys. Now you did play Ram. That's a quality win right there.
Yeah, they did play well against the Rams,
and they
That was a
played
big
well.
win.
They played well against Houston.
and they played well against the Texans for sure. I don't know, man. I just think,
But they lost 0. They got shut out against the Browns.
hey, the Browns. Let me tell you something. The Cleveland Browns, had they not forced an injured kicker onto the field the first 3 weeks of the season, the Browns probably win that division running away.
Okay, fine, but they got shut out against the Browns.
Well, the Colts got shut out by Jacksonville. It hurt. I mean, it happens. It happens.
Oh, hold on. No, you know what? I'm lying. I'm looking at preseason.
Oh shit.
Philly's website's so stupid. Everything in Philly's stupid. So they lost against Redskin, Texan. Yeah, okay, that's right. That part's right. They lost in preseason against Brown.
Yeah, I just think I just think their defense is playing better. I think you know, I think Foles is the type of quarterback that can go into Chicago and play well enough to get them a win and escape.
Hey, I hope so. I want to play Philly. That would be great. Of course, we got to get past this week too.
So let me see. If Philly wins, and I should have all this pulled up, but I don't because of the internet fiasco. If Philly wins, they're the 6th seed, right?
Yeah. So if Philly wins,
they go to
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Okay.
And if Dallas wins, they go to Ram.
Okay.
If Philly loses, Dallas would go to
New
Orleans.
Wow. I mean, yeah, you can look at it, and honestly, you can convince those who are willing to listen that the Cowboys could host the NFC Championship,
Oh yeah.
right?
I mean, I think I think both games tomorrow are going to be brutal, like bloodbath, bang them up, beat the hell out of each other type games. I think.
Well,
Well, what do you think about Texan and Colt?
well,
We'll go in order.
first of all, I don't think the Colts are capable of bringing the blood and bringing the pain
Oh boy,
and swinging the big. No, no, seriously,
are you
just
going Homer on me?
no. Just by the style of defense that they play, it's a lot like they were when they had Freeney and Mathis and that, where they're going to beat you with speed. They're going to beat you with speed and quickness, and they're going to beat you by gang tackling, by everybody making a play on the
Right,
football.
right.
They're not going to, we'll just say, pull Baltimore or a Kansas, well, not even Kansas City. The Rams defense do it a lot. I can't see the Colts coming out and punching the Texans in the face defensively. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair.
Like punishing guys. I don't think, I honestly don't think anyone on the Texans offensive side of the ball is afraid of the Colts in that aspect. But if you look at the other way around, the Texans have all the personnel to bring the boom on the Colts offensively. Like, I
Do
think,
they?
yeah, I mean, honestly, do now.
Because there's this one guy on the Colts that their boom hasn't been able to stop yet.
Well, T.Y. Hilton, I mean, they have to be, listen, I tweeted out earlier this week that I wasn't worried at all about this game Saturday. And one of the main reasons why I feel that way is because I can't sit here and believe. Now, can it happen? Yes, but I'll have to see it happen with my own eyes. But I can't believe that Romeo Crennel is going to go into tomorrow's game with the same type of coverage plan that they went into the last time the Colts were here, where T.Y. got a lot of one-on-ones. He was even isolated on linebacker at times. I can't imagine that's how they're going to play. That's how they're going to play it. I mean, and let's face it, they won a close game in Indy,
Mhm.
where Ty was relatively productive, but he was in and out of the game because I think he landed on his shoulder. And you pull that game off, and then Ty goes off and goes crazy here in Houston, and you lose by a field goal. So everyone pining and talking about and shaking in their boots over what Ty's done here in Houston, his last, I guess they were specifying the last 7 trips or whatever. Okay, great. Yeah, he had an awesome game. He was 199 yards receiving, a touchdown, and they beat us by 3 in a game where the Texans had the ball at the 43-yard line on a 4th and 2, and Bill O'Brien decided to punt the football. And you were ahead in that situation. You were ahead. You were up 16-13. And I did a podcast by myself on it, and I talked about it, and I said that worries me, that because in that situation, knowing what's at stake, knowing you're possibly playing for a higher seed, a 1 or a 2 seed, and they knew at that time there was a possibility to obtain that.
Mhm.
Why not play that situation like it was a must win, right?
Right.
So even with Ty going crazy and all that, you still had opportunity to win the football game. I mean, he didn't
But here's the problem: you didn't win the football game.
well, right. You didn't win the football game, and I am honestly going to sit here and tell you that you didn't win the football game because Ty had a big day. Is what I'm trying to say.
Well, no, but he always finds a way.
Always finds a way.
And that's my thing. I'm not saying that it's going to be the T.Y. Hilton show. I think a lot of people are saying that. That's not my point. My point is he's that clutch guy. He's the Mario Ellie 3-point.
I
He
mean, I guess he can be, but what I'm saying is, uh, he hasn't done that to the Texans. Sure, he's had big games and has made big plays, but they've been kind of in the meat of the game. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Second, third quarter type deal. I mean, have we ever seen Ty make a play against the Texans late in the fourth quarter, down 4 to score a touchdown? I don't ever remember that happening. Not saying that it can't,
Right.
but Ty gets his in the meat of the game. He gets hit in the flow of the game and in the middle, and then when you get deeper into the game, I just don't remember Ty ever making a big play like that. Now I could be wrong. I could be forgetting a situation that he did make a big play, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm not really worried about T.Y. Hilton. I'm not
Fair enough.
because a lot of people say, well, he's going to get his numbers and he's going to put up his numbers. You got to control Ebrom and you got to control all the other no name receivers they have that started making plays for them in this run that they've been on. And I mean, let's face it, they're just as hot as the Texans are going
Right.
to the playoffs.
Right. They are.
So
my thing with the Colts, especially on if you flip it and look at, or if you stay on defense there, it's to me it's all about the Texans front. If the Texans front can dominate that Indy O line, and it's not a bad O line,
right?
I mean, they got 2 rookies that just made All Pro, so I mean, they're building something there. But if they can dominate the O line and get pressure on Luck the whole entire game, I think they'll be fine. But if they don't, all it's going to take is Luck throwing at the corners, and he's either going to hit that tight end or he's going to hit Ty the whole game because the Texans love to play cover 2, and it's too deep, and they'll try to do that whole middle linebacker crap and bring Whitney back to cover Ty at the last second, and that doesn't work. But if they can put pressure on Luck all day, I think they win easy.
Yeah,
but they have to be successful up front.
I mean, that's
the whole. They have to be dominant up front. I think.
And not only that, but it's kind of obvious, right? Like they're gonna have to put pressure on Luck. That's kind of an obvious deal.
I shouldn't even say pressure. They have to take him to the ground. They have to be on his ass every down.
More importantly, I think what the Texans secondary needs to do as well, because they've been a topic of conversation the last 3 or 4 weeks. And yeah, they had a good game against the Jaguars, but again, you played a piece of shit quarterback, basically.
Yeah.
And so they should have had a good game. Like, yeah, you're right. They should have. And that offense without a Leonard Fournette or a TJ Yeldon, yeah, you should have held them to under 200 yards total offense. Like, you should have done that.
Right.
What they have to do is they have to keep these guys in front of them and then tackle. They can't. Those plays, I have more confidence in these guys covering TY within a 12-yard window than I do a 25 to 45, 50, 60-yard window.
Yeah.
It sounds elementary. Everybody's going to talk about, well, why are they playing 12 yards off the ball on 3rd and 4? Why are they playing 12 yards off the ball on 2nd and 6? What does it matter? Because if the Texans go into this game and say, we're going to bend, but we're not going to break, and if Adam Vinatieri kicks 5 field goals, we feel really confident about our chances of winning this football game.
Who are you going to throw to besides Nuke?
And that's funny you say that, because I had a conversation with guys at work, and I'm going to assume that Kiki QT, although has not been able to play in games, I'm going to assume that he's been working.
Boy, he's the big mystery box in this game.
He's been working with Deshaun in practice and after practice, and so I'm hoping this is the case and that their timing is on point due to the work that they put in during the week. So if that's the case, why not throw Kiki QT and
Nuke?
No. The other Carter. Well, not Carter. God, why am I drawing a blank? The return guy. The guy who replaced Kiki.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading.
It's Carter, right?
I was reading a tweet from Lamont. I did not know this. Lamont says, "Did you guys know that Reed is playing with the cast?"
Yes, I saw that. And
I did not know that.
Pat actually said he's been playing with it on for like 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah. I had no idea. I mean, I guess you don't really pay attention to those things. I mean, it's not big and bulky like it used to be.
Rahil brings up a good point too.
What does Rahil say?
Got to limit TY's yards after catch.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. You have to, if TY is to catch the football, you have to make sure you're in between him and the goal line and then make the tackle. Like, I want to say it was in that Indy game. Justin Reed didn't tackle very well.
No.
And that killed him.
Yeah.
He had opportunities to make plays in that game, and he just absolutely just whiffed on, I want to say it was like 4 or 5. It was real crazy. Like, out of character for him considering the season he was having.
Right.
Um,
Lamont says Ty caught all them passes and accumulated yards, but no receivers killed us in the end zone. You're right. I'm not saying that he kills you in the end zone. What I am saying is he helps you march down the field, and it's always that third down play where he converts, and that's what kills them. They got to get to him on third down. They can't let Ty be the third down factor.
so I was thinking of DeAndre Carter. I don't know
Okay.
why I drew a
Oh,
blank, but that's who.
yeah.
That's who. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Imagine because DeAndre Carter did well in Kiki's absence in the slot. I mean, he's played. I should have looked that up while I had it up, but he's had 22 catches this year, which is good considering he's replacing a starter.
Sure.
Um, Imagine Nuke, Kiki in the slot. You have one of the Akins twins lined up at tight end, and you have DeAndre Carter on the other side of the football. There's a lot of speed on the field now. There's not a lot of size, but there's a
Right.
lot of speed. And I
Yeah.
just think you can listen. I have the utmost confidence in Deshaun Watson's decision making ability, plus either Kiki or DeAndre Carter lined up on a linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
I have the utmost confidence that something positive is going to happen in that situation. And if they play Carter and Kiki on the field at the same time, those are the kind of things that it'll kind of remind you of the old Amendola
Yeah.
Edelman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're going to have to bite the bullet on one or the other one.
Right.
And put a linebacker on one of them or a slower safety. And then that's exactly where Tom Brady would go every single time.
Right. Pick
every
poison.
single. And then not only that, but then you have Lamar Miller back who's healthy. You have him flexing out of the backfield, getting him involved in the passing game. And I think if you have Lamar Miller, you have Kiki, and you have DeAndre Carter all running routes. Well, Manny, who's going to protect Deshaun Watson? You got to keep somebody in for protection so he has time to throw the football. No, you work. Listen, you can work inside of a 12-yard box and allow DeAndre or Deshaun Watson plenty of time to make a play. And with Kiki, what Kiki has shown me when he was healthy was his ability to run the football after the catch.
Yeah.
I mean, he has great instincts. He has nice wiggle. So just to get him in space is a good thing.
Can they do that though?
I think they can because once that works for you and you pick up a couple of first downs, well, guess what? That skinny post over the middle of the DeAndre is going to be wide open to Hopkins. Or that post flag that he likes to run.
Yeah.
That's going to be open.
Yeah.
And then the Colts have to seriously think about how are the Texans going to use Deshaun's legs.
See, I think this is the game where Bill O'Brien finally opens up the gate for Deshaun and lets him run. I think this whole season has been about holding him back, and now he's going to let him loose. And I think that's what last week's game was about. Letting Deshaun get some practice with the legs, letting him get around in space and things of that nature. I think he's going to let Deshaun loose.
Well, we give me in particular, I give Bill O'Brien a bunch of shit about his style of coaching and everything. And there are people in here that will fight to the death over Bill O'Brien being a great coach or a good coach or a solid coach, or whatever the case may be. I have my reservations. I don't know if that was installed into the game plan with Deshaun running the football against the Jags because he looked at it as because you were in the playoffs, right? You were in the playoffs. And is it really that important to have a home game in the first week of the playoffs if you're the Texans, considering the damage they did on the road? They had a really good season on the road.
Yeah, but the playoffs are always different.
It is. So the question remains, did he involve Deshaun that heavily in the run game to get the win or to plant thoughts in the minds of whoever they were going to play in that first week of the playoffs?
I think O'Brien's playing chess.
You think he's playing chess?
I think he's playing chess, as Palillo likes to use all the time. I think O'Brien wanted to get Deshaun a lot more time in the pocket, practicing in the pocket, because he knows what he can do with his legs. So let's practice being an NFL quarterback. Let's practice throwing from the pocket, staying in the pocket as long as possible. Now, that killed him a lot of times too. But I think we're going to see Deshaun roll out a lot and use his legs.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be sneak plays called. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to almost look like a overhauled offense, and then at the last minute they'll go back to what they were used to. They won't be ready for Nuke to go long, and that's when they'll kill him.
I think it was so funny because somebody put out the Rosencopter play against the Colts, and as I
Love that
watched it,
play.
as I watched it, I saw Sage rolling out, and I thought to myself, imagine if that was Deshaun. Oh my god!
Going copter or just
No,
rolling
like
out?
when he came off that play fake.
Yeah,
I mean, he had like 20 yards where there was
that's true.
nobody. There was nobody. Like I think he had picked up 6 yards before the Colts even realized, holy crap, it's a bootleg.
Yeah,
And I just watched it and just pictured Deshaun just faking the handoff, and that was him on that rollout.
so you're calling a win.
Yeah, I'm still. All that being said, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah,
We're gonna win.
I think they win. I think it's a fight. I think Lamont was saying that he feels it's going to be a blowout. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a fight. I think. Look, the Colts are playing good football. that they're playing good football. They're playing solid football.
Oh, sorry, I put your button.
But I think the Texans pull it out. And by pull it out, I mean I think they're going to have the lead the whole game, and I don't think the Colts ever catch them. I think it gets close within 3 at some point, but I think overall the Texans don't quote unquote win easily, but I think they win.
See, and that's the funny thing about the Colts, man, is you can get up 21-3 on the Colts, right? Like you can get up 21-3 on the Colts. And
Real.
at the end of the third quarter, you still got to kind of like say, "Hey, it's 21-10. Oh my God, now it's 21-17 with 4.5 minutes going in the game. The Texans have the football. And you're like, okay, we just got to pick up first down. Colts are out of timeouts. The Texans got to pick up first down, and then they don't, and then you're punting the ball away with like 2:27 left, and you down it inside the 15. So here we are. It's 21-17. There's 2 minutes and 17 seconds left, and Andrew Luck has the football at the 16. Holy shit.
That would be so Houston. Not just Texans. That would be Houston.
Yeah, man. And it's like, because I honestly feel like the way the Astros series felt in 2017 against the Yankees, even though they came back to Houston down 3-2, I was like, we're good. We're going to the World Series. Like, we're going to win the next 2 games. There's no way we lose these next 2 games. Those games were tighter than I really wanted them to be, with the exception of, Game 7 wasn't really tight, but it was still a bloop and a blast away from turning into a real baseball game.
Right.
And I honestly feel like, and then you go to the World Series against the Dodgers, and I never had any doubt that we were going to win the World Series. I didn't think we were going to take 7 games, but the way the series played out, again, you're shitting on yourself every game because of what's going on.
Right.
But ultimately, you knew and had confidence that they were going to win the World Series, and when it was all said and done, they won the World Series.
Right.
Hey, what was I worried about that whole time?
Right.
Why was I biting my nails? Why did I wear out a hole in the tile in front of my TV, pacing back and forth? I knew they were going to win. I should have just had confidence.
Right.
And it kind of feels like that with this year's Texans team. Like like I said, I'm not worried about this week, but I'm still going to worry when they're,
when time starts running down.
Yeah, when they tee it up and they kick off.
Hill wants to know what we're going to sacrifice for the win tomorrow. What oh man, gets sacrificed? Do we sacrifice Harden?
Have we already not sacrificed Chris Paul and Eric Gordon?
Not for this win. In the playoffs we did. Now we got to sacrifice more.
I don't know if that
we need
works.
More juju.
I don't know if that works because Deshaun covered the whole postseason for the Astros, right? Like the Astros clinched on a Tuesday.
Yeah, but then Deshaun quarterback
popped his ACL on a Wednesday, like the very next day.
Right.
And the Astros weren't even in the playoffs yet, is what I'm saying.
No, the Astros won the World Series, and then that's when Watson went down the next day.
Was it the World Series?
Yeah.
I thought it was when they clinched the division.
No, because we were all excited.
Oh, you're right.
The World Series, and we're like, son of a.
You're right. Okay, now my timeline right. Okay, now my timeline's right. You're right. God bless, man. That means we got to sacrifice somebody for the next 4 weeks.
It's got to be someone strong too. I mean, that was a starting quarterback to win it all. Like, you got to sacrifice Harden.
I say we
Harden has to
sacrifice.
die.
I say I say we sacrificed. I say we just play it safe and sacrifice John Granado.
But did the gods really want Granado? Really?
The gods probably want him off the air.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. I don't think Granado's.
I would rather sacrifice radio guys because we have enough guys at 6'10" we can sacrifice for not only this year's playoff run, but like we can sacrifice somebody before free agency begins, before the draft begins, before training camp begins.
You can't sacrifice a whole station. I mean, this was your starting quarterback, so it's got to be someone of significance, and 6'10" is insignificant now.
Well, I don't want anybody to be sacrificed, to be honest with you.
No. We don't want real death, but we have to have it. So who's your sports sacrifice?
No,
it's got to be Harden.
No, because
it's either going to be Harden or Verlander.
I'm not going to.
You got to sacrifice Harden or Verlander. That's what the gods demand.
I would say Verlander because he still has 3 months before opening day.
Yeah, but you've only got 2 starters right now.
I think they're okay.
No, I'm not worried about Luno. He'll figure something out.
So, I think. I think we don't sacrifice anybody. Yeah.
Manny is currently multitasking.
I mean, I'm trying to think about Rahil's question and really consider it, but I'm just afraid to because what if I speak it into existence? So that's what I think needs to happen tomorrow. I think you have to keep the Colt receivers, including Eric Ebron, in front of you, make the tackle, make plays. Like I want to say someone on the Texans did an interview on the defensive side of the football, and they talked about doing your job. Just do your job.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a guy in front of you and your job is to tackle that guy, do your job and make the tackle, right? That's it. Yep. That's how easy it is. Simple. And that's what they have to do. That's what the secondary of the Texans have to do tomorrow. If they tackle and they put the Colts in situations, because I'm not really scared of Andrew Luck in 3rd and short. I'm not. He hasn't. Even in the game that they won here in Houston,
that's when they go to T.Y. Hilton.
He wasn't good on 3rd and short.
But that's when they go to T.Y.
I know, but I would rather, like, I don't know, man. I don't
3rd and short, you got to go balls to the walls on the rush. You got to send the house every single time. Now, Steve brings up a good point. Was McNair dying the sacrifice that led to game 9 of the winning streak?
That's terrible.
Good Lord, Steve.
That's terrible. My boy Mike Slattery's listening. What's up, Mike? He says, man, let's just do it. Harden or Capella. Let's go ahead and get this Super Bowl. It'd have to be Capella.
Ooh, we're going Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, the way Harden's playing, I wish they were playing back-to-back every night because the way he's playing basketball right now is.
Did you stay up for the game last night?
Absolutely. I stayed up for the game
crazy?
last night. It was unbelievable. And you know what? And we'll get into it in here in a little bit.
Well, hold on. Let's save it. We'll get to Rockets.
Yeah, we'll get to Rockets.
We'll get there.
For sure.
Lamont says Texans win if no Astros are at the game tomorrow.
Oh, well.
I say the Texans win if Clay Walker doesn't sing tomorrow.
Well, he's singing tomorrow.
Now we're screwed.
Oh, Steve, see, I totally misinterpreted that. Bob McNair may have been that sacrifice. Because guess what the Texans have that they've never had in their franchise's history going into the playoffs? Guess what they have?
What's that?
Lamont, guess what they have, Lamont? You know the answer to this. What do the Texans have this season going into the playoffs that they've never had before, that they've had to face other teams in the playoffs that had this same thing because of something happening in that organization that they were facing?
I'm going to need a flow chart to keep up with what you just said. So
come on, man. This is easy.
Rahil, that's not a sacrifice.
What do you say?
Rahil says, I'm going personal sacrifice. I won't talk to my wife for a week. That's bullshit. That's not a sacrifice. That's a blessing for her. So no, that's not a sacrifice. And don't give me, I won't talk to my kid either. We know about baby trickster. That's not a sacrifice. Now, you not wearing compression pants for a month, that would be a sacrifice. I don't know if you can do that. What say you?
Let me see. So do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
No.
The Texans have the emotion of their owner passing away.
Oh, no.
Remember when we lost to the Patriots the year we were supposed to beat them? Robert Kraft's wife died right before the week before that game, and they played for her. when
It
we
played
played
for
the
Kraft's wife.
yes, when we played the Ravens, when TJ Yates went into Baltimore and played the Ravens, someone in their organization passed away and they played for that person.
So we should start hashtag do it for Bob.
I'm pretty sure they already have that in the Texans locker room. I'm pretty sure that's something that
There's a picture of the old man in the locker room.
yeah, absolutely. Not
All
only
right.
not only that, but I think I think it is talked about. I think they, they haven't obviously they haven't said it in the media, but the Texans never really been a team to say anything
You think they got that big
like that out of the media, out in the media.
that big picture of Deshaun right by Robert McNair's initials on the grass that they caught, with the light shining down on
Through the
Deshaun, yeah,
windows?
through the windows. You think they
Yes.
got that blown up big in NRG?
Yeah, man.
You know what? They should put that on the outside of the stadium. Like that should be a T-shirt.
It should be.
You should
Well,
wear
I
your
don't know if they
Bob
do a t-shirt.
T-shirts tomorrow.
I don't know, but
What's the color for tomorrow, by the way? Are they doing a blue out, a white out,
we'll
a
see.
battle red out?
They haven't really said anything, but I know a lot of
That's bad
people.
juju.
I know a lot of people on Twitter want the
Oh.
blue color. What are they?
It's too late now. You can't
Color
do battle
fumes?
blue.
Color fumes, or what's the special Thursday night uniform?
Oh, color rush.
Color rush.
But
They
I'm
wanna do
talking
blue color rush.
for the stadium. Everyone's supposed to wear the same color.
Come on, man. They're gonna have shirts on every seat in the stadium.
Man, I don't know. If they don't have shirts on every chair in the stadium, they lose.
I know they're giving away rally towels. I know that for a fact.
So they'll have the same color towel. They'll
Everyone
rally
has the
their
same,
towel
yeah.
and okay.
Which is
Well, at
dumb
least they'll
because
have that.
I mean, if we want to follow the stereotype of the world on what goes on in Texas, they should have cowbells in every seat. Can you imagine
Oh my god, that would be
70,000
awesome.
cowbells? Ding, 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 ding. I mean, that would be crazy, man.
Of course, some idiot fans would be doing that while the Texans were on offense. And
I'll tell you what, man, when we had Hills Brothers season tickets, there was a guy that sat 2 rows in front of us. There was 4 guys actually. And they would drink the bottle can Michelob Ultra.
mm-hmm.
And they had like $3 of quarters in their pockets. And they would put the quarters in that bottle and put the top back on. And it was they would hit it on the fucking seat and they would shake it. Dude,
when
it
we
was
did
so
that,
loud.
when we did that podcast a few years back, and Dell and I were up in the nosebleeds,
That's
some
what they were doing?
assholes did that to us the whole time, and they were. Oh, I thought Dell was gonna hit him. I'm sure he came
Dell was
close.
getting pissed.
Oh, Dell was getting really pissed.
I wish I could have seen that, man. That would have been funny.
Lamont says, I ask you about Reed's cast because this could explain him trying to go for big hits instead of wrapping up and tackling. It's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Yeah. You know what? It's funny Lamont brought up the cast because, and I know I think he asked Pat about it earlier in the week, and I saw the tweet, and I was like, he had a cast on? And I saw a video of it, and sure enough, he had a cast on because there was a play on the sidelines in the Eagles game on that last drive that they set up to win with the field goal, where Justin Reed was over the top of Aguilar, and I want to say J-Jo was playing underneath, and it was Honey Badger, and it was a bad throw, and it looked like Justin Reed possibly could have got to that ball and intercepted it. But he stuck his hand out, and there was a big old cast on it. So I was like, I didn't realize it. I guess
I never picked up on the cast.
Who knows? He may take it off.
Lamont brings up another good point. You realize how many storylines are interesting Super Bowl matchups. There's a ton. Like there's some interesting combinations for the Super Bowl. Of course, the big one would be Cowboys Texans, but you also could have, good Lord, Charger and Ram.
Yeah.
The high school versus the college.
Yeah.
Let's see. You could end up having Chicago and Patriot would be an interesting one.
That'd be it was Chicago.
Chicago and Raven.
Indy. Chicago and Indy would be a rematch.
Yeah, that would be a rematch. Chicago and Raven hate each other. There's a lot.
And as much as I don't really believe in Trubisky, I think the Bears, if they face the Colts in the Super Bowl again, would have a much larger shot at winning that game than one Rex Grossman did when they faced the Colts in the Super Bowl the last time, when Peyton won his first Super Bowl.
It's a bold statement.
A lot of people forget about that, man. Oh, Peyton Manning, greatest quarterback ever, won the Super Bowl, beat the Bears for his first ring. He played Rex Grossman or Rex Chapman or what the hell was his name? Rex something.
It's Grossman. Oh man,
Grossman meaning gross, man.
So Steve says the Bob sacrifice is worn off. Football gods need sacrifice of owner's blood. Cal got to go. But Raheel chimes in, and
Yeah.
I don't know if we can go this far, Raheel, without a Super Bowl guarantee. Adding everyone, let's all sacrifice Twitter for a week. Lamont, I want you to chime in on that. Can we?
Raheel, you're full of shit. You couldn't do a week without Twitter.
I think Raheel could because he would go to Instagram. Lamont, on the other hand, I don't know if Lamont could do without Twitter for a week.
No social media at all is what you have to do.
So you're going to step it up to no social media.
Well, I mean, me, it would just be getting off of Twitter, but
Yeah,
guys like
same with
Raheel,
me.
where he has 4 or 5 platforms. What's up,
JoJo?
bro?
Come on in, man.
How'd you do at Dave and Buster's there, buddy? Oh yeah,
we have special guest JoJo. Hey, scoot on over. Let's get JoJo in the camera. You got him? All right.
Hello again.
JoJo, who wins the game tomorrow?
Texans or the Colts?
Texans.
Why?
Because Colts suck.
There you go.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Raise them right.
What?
Who wins between the Cowboys and the Seahawks?
The Seahawks.
Why?
Because the Cowboys suck.
See, now we got to talk about the way you raise your children.
All right, love you, man. Raising them right, man.
See you, buddy.
Raising them right.
See, but what JoJo doesn't realize is he really does want the Cowboys to win.
You can close it.
Because that gives you the possibility of an all-Texas Super Bowl.
It
which
does.
I would like to see. I think that would be fun.
I think it would be really cool. It'd be a boring as shit game because the Texans would blow out the Cowboys by 40, but
Deshaun doesn't want another Jalen Smith hit.
I guess. I doubt he runs the football in the Super Bowl like he did when they played in the regular season.
He was running for his life.
That would not happen. So let's talk about the Cowboys matchup.
All right, let's talk about it.
So the Seahawks came into Dallas and beat the Cowboys in the regular season.
I believe it was week 3.
And a big part of that was how Russell Wilson played.
Yep.
The position of quarterback.
Yep.
Let me tell you something, man. I am impressed that the Cowboys have finally moved on from a guy manning their defense with chronic arthritis, couldn't stay on the field, and replaced him with an absolute young, athletic, explosive, just smart linebacking group that they have now.
I'll tell you what, watching Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith
absolutely
move around, I mean, they're everywhere. They're all over the field, and they're popping guys. I mean, not saying it to be funny, but I mean, they popped the hell out of Deshaun Watson. They put that guy on a bus the next week. I mean, they're not afraid to hit people. They're not afraid of the flag. They're not afraid of anything. It's fun to watch them. Now, the secondary is a little bit less desirable, especially at safety, but the front is strong. The middle is strong. The corners are strong. Safety is the weak part there.
I think, man, I honestly feel like with their front seven, come next year, like we're going to be looking at the Cowboys going, oh, like the Cowboys are probably going to have a defense. It might be number 1 in the league next year.
If they had David Irvin, if he were going to play, if he were healthy, I don't think they would be able to be stopped because that dude is a freaking beast. But they don't have him. So they got. I'm a little bit worried about Tyrone Crawford because of his neck injury. He'll be back. He's supposedly 100%. This Seattle, the Seattle defense is playing a different Cowboys offense this time around. You got Amari Cooper lining up now. You finally found a tight end. You've got Zeke playing at 100% on a week of rest this time around. You've got Dak winning games. I mean, look, I've been the biggest Dak critic that there is.
Easy.
But they're finding a way to win every time. I mean, that last pass in the game to the Giants was just stupid good.
Yeah, it was good.
I mean,
it was good.
That was by far the best throw of his career. I think it helped give him a little bit of confidence. Now, nobody's talking about the 3 bad passes before that.
Right.
But when it came time to do it, he found a way. They won that game without 3 other Pro Bowlers.
Yeah.
So I think these two teams are very, very similar. They've got a lot of similarities. I would give the edge to their head coach. I would give the edge to their quarterback. I would give the edge to Dallas's running back.
What about special teams? Would you take Janikowski over what's else kicker's name?
Oh, uh,
Not Bailey.
no, Bailey's gone. This Canada guy, Brett Maher,
Would you take Sebastian Janikowski over Macher?
in a heartbeat.
So they have the edge in the kicking game.
It will be interesting to see what they do with kick returns, and who they make the kick returner, because rumor has it that they might let Tavon Austin return punts, and they've been saving him to return punts for the playoffs. If that's the case, I like that a lot. He's got good hands. He's got good speed. He can still play wide receiver just fine.
And he hadn't done it all year, right?
No, he's been on the shelf. He's had a bum ankle,
Mm.
but he came back last week and the week before. If they let him return punts, and the way they've been spreading the ball around on offense now,
Yeah.
I can tell you what Seattle's game plan is going to be. They're going to load the box. They're going to try to force Zeke out of the game. They're going to try to force out the small dink and dunk throws from Dak, and they're going to make him stretch the field. I mean, that's what they do. They always take away your best asset.
Yeah.
So they're going to make Dak stretch the field.
Man, you know why I love watching the Seahawks play?
Mm-hmm.
I love watching them play because you never know where that big play is going to come from.
Right.
You know that Russell's going to keep plays alive, and he's going to do everything he can to extend plays and to make plays. But it's almost as fun to have the anticipation build up, watching him throw the football, watching the camera track the football, and then us finding out like a jack in the box who's catching the ball on the other end.
Right.
They just always seem to be in the right place at the right time. You never know where it's coming from.
Yep.
And I mean, Carson's had a great year, man. That dude has been fantastic.
He's a beast. Here's the thing, that for Dallas, now what a difference a year makes here. You're going to laugh at this. The biggest loss for Dallas tomorrow. Guess who I'm going to say?
Who?
Just take a guess.
Sean Lee. No.
He's playing.
Xavier Suafilo.
Yep.
Yeah.
He'll more than likely be out, which means you're going to have to play Connor Williams. So it'll be Teron Smith next to Connor Williams. You're putting a lot on the rookie, and Teron Smith has a hard time against Seattle every time. So I'm not worried about the right side, but the left side, it's going to be a hard game up for that front, which means they're going to try to get Zeke running very quickly out of the box.
And bro, you know who's playing lights out and who's played lights out all year? Bobby Wagner. This dude, I don't know if he found a fountain of youth. I don't know if he took up yoga or
that DDP yoga,
did something in the off season to rejuvenate and refresh his body. But man, this dude is balling out this season, and he's someone else that Dak has to worry about. You got to know where that guy's at before snap.
That defense is just no joke.
Yeah, you gotta find where that guy's at pre-snap.
Now, I will say I'll take the Dallas defense I'll take the Dallas front over the Seattle offensive front. They have Dwayne Brown and a bunch of guys.
Hey, man, I was just fixing to ask you. Dwayne Brown was named second team All-Pro this year.
He's playing like a stud this year.
And I'm trying to find out what they paid him.
I can't remember.
Because I want to ask you whether or not the Texans should have ponied up and paid him.
Nah. He was too much of an issue. It wasn't an issue of money. He didn't want to be there. Why are you going to pay a guy that doesn't even want to be there at that point? It's not good for anybody.
Yeah, and I think there's obviously some truth to that because he said it himself. But
right,
I mean, I can think of many reasons to say, like, right now he's got a base of 6.25.
He wanted to move out west though to be with his girl.
Yeah,
and he didn't like the McNairs, and they're not going anywhere. Well, Bob did, but
yeah.
So
I mean, good to see him. Good to see Derek Newton back in action against the Saints this
Yeah,
past weekend.
I didn't expect that. He played the whole game though, didn't he?
He played 92% of the snaps. He didn't
Yeah.
start. He didn't start. He came in for a guy who hurt his hand. Um, but yeah, I mean he looks good.
Yeah, he does. But yeah, I think
Niall says he's going to be sacrificing Killen's barbecue. It's a good choice, man.
because
You
Niall doesn't know how to barbecue.
You're not missing much anyway.
Whatever.
Boycott
Terrible.
that trash all day.
Boycott trash all day.
I wouldn't boycott their steaks
Oh my
or their
gosh.
burgers. They're good. And this
Steaks are
whole
so
dude,
good.
wait a second. This whole deal about them opening up a Mexican restaurant now.
Yeah.
Please, bro. Please.
Have you been there?
Is it already open?
It opened yesterday.
Did it really? Where's it at?
So it took the place of an old Mexican food restaurant that had been there previously. There's like it's the same shopping center as Bogey's.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it's on the other side of the
Oh,
shopping
on
strip
the
from
other
Bogey's.
side.
There used to be a Mexican food restaurant there. So there's like a Carpets to Go or a Tile World or one of those
Yeah.
places.
Yeah.
And then there's that title office where you go to sign house
Right,
titles.
Right.
So it's in between those two.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check that out. Hopefully they put more
Got good
effort-
reviews.
Hopefully they put more effort into it than they did their barbecues place.
Oh, shut the hell up.
That shit is so overrated, man.
Dude,
I mean,
it's
I
good
understand
shit.
why people like it. I understand. And don't get me wrong. This is coming from somebody who, like, the way my dad makes barbecue, it's incredible. There's nowhere in the world that could compete with it. I mean, it's that good. So
You're always going to be biased towards the way you grew
right,
up eating
I'm always
barbecue.
going to be biased towards it, and I laugh because even though it's pretty good barbecue, and everybody's acting like they eat it and then they go home and immediately make babies because it was so good. I laugh at that because I'm like, it's not really that good, but to them it may be that good because they don't have any alternative.
It's like the
They've been eating Papa's barbecue for years.
Oh God, that's awful. What's the other barbecue restaurant? The old one.
Central Texas.
God, that stuff is trash.
See, I disagree. Central Texas. Now, okay, their brisket is your typical, barbecue restaurant brisket where it could be good on some days and it could be really average on most days.
Right.
But their other stuff, like their chicken and their sausage and their different types of sausages and the way they.
That's the only thing good I've had there is their sausage. I like their sausage, but that's about it.
I mean, in all honesty, I don't go to barbecue places to eat brisket anyway.
Right.
I don't eat brisket. My dad's gonna make it.
Right.
I go I'll get a barbecue baked potato.
Yeah.
But that's totally different than.
I don't like their barbecue sauce either. I think it's trash.
God,
I do want to try out his Mexican food restaurant though.
Killing snob.
I'm not a big fan of the burgers.
You don't like Killen's burgers?
I don't dislike them. They're fine. It's a burger. I mean, really, there's not a whole hell of a lot you can do with a burger. At the end of the day, it's a patty and a piece of bread.
I don't know, man. I make some chingon burgers at work, and those guys love it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some fancy stuff you can do, but when it comes down to it,
they always request it. Hey, man, you can make a chingon burger? What's up? Like, yeah, we can make some. I'll go buy the stuff. And
look at you.
This is what you do, man. You go to HEB and you buy the HEB patties, right?
The pre-made ones?
The pre-made ones, not the ones that are seasoned with cheese and all that. Right. No, just the regular patties. And then I put my secret sauce on there. And then I season them. I season them with my secret spices. And then what tops it off is HEB makes a jalapeno bacon. Have you ever seen that?
Yes, I've had it. It's good.
It's delicious. It's delicious, man. You see, we don't even pan fry that. We put it in the oven.
Okay.
We put it cook in the oven.
Yeah.
And you top that chingon burger off with that jalapeno bacon, dude. We can't do no work after that because everybody's
having
full.
An orgasm over there.
I'm thinking about making them tomorrow. They sound so good. I mean, every time I think about it.
Yeah, I'm not a commercial barbecue person either.
So,
like growing up, Luther's was the place.
Yeah, Luther's off 45.
Yeah,
was there one over here in Pearland?
There was one in. I don't think there was one in Pearland. I remember the one off 45, but that was even newer. Like you had to go north side of town to get Luther's, or maybe there was one over in Alameda.
No, I'm thinking of the one in Alameda.
Yeah,
because that's the one we went to.
I mean, that was really the only barbecue, quote unquote, place. Like Papa's barbecue is awful. Ugh.
Okay, so Saturday you're taking the Cowboys
I'll take the Cowboys and the Texans.
Cowboys and the Texans.
Yep.
Okay. I'm taking the Texans and the Seahawks.
Okay.
And for no other reason, I mean, not that I'm hating on the Cowboys. I think the Seahawks can get it done.
Okay. That's fair enough.
Sunday, you got the Chargers at Ravens.
I'm taking Baltimore. I like their defense, man. They seem back to the old Baltimore defense type ways.
I'm gonna take the Chargers, and I feel like as well as the Ravens are playing defensively, and as well as Lamar Jackson's been playing, I just feel like if a play is gonna have to be made late in that game, I'm gonna trust Phillip Rivers over Lamar Jackson.
So you're going vet versus rookie.
I'm going vet. I'm picking the vet over the rookie. Yeah.
Okay.
And because I'm honestly defensively they're pretty close, and they both have weapons offensively. Obviously, Lamar Jackson adds another spin to it because of
And
the
how
way
about
he can run
Lamar
the football.
Jackson balling out?
Hey man, that guy! I tell you what, man.
That's great.
A lot of people coming out of Louisville said that he needed a chance to play the game. Play quarterback in the NFL.
Yep.
And there was more people saying that than there were people saying no, he needs to be a wide receiver or whatever. Well, a lot of people believed in Lamar Jackson, and for good reason, because he's a good quarterback.
He's athletic as all get out.
He's a good quarterback. He's athletic.
Good instincts.
Absolutely. And a lot of people were talking about the Watson Luck battles that are going to happen over the next 4 or 5 years. Well, what happens when the Ravens and the Texans hook up in the playoffs? You have Watson on one side and you have Lamar Jackson on the other. And I just think the praise Lamar Jackson get is well deserved. I think the Ravens are extremely smart to move on from Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
It was time.
I never thought Joe Flacco was that great anyway.
I mean, he had the Eli syndrome. He got hot at the right time, won a Super Bowl, and got paid for it.
Eli's just not a good
The
quarterback.
only difference is Eli did it twice. Eli did it twice as opposed to Flacco only doing it once. But yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a good game. And I think it's gonna come down to one of those two guys making a play, and I got to go with the vet over the rookie.
I just don't see that the Chargers have enough on offense to overpower that Baltimore defense. I don't like. I trust Phillip Rivers, but who the hell is he going to throw that ball to against the Ravens defense? I don't know. I mean, I could be completely wrong where wisdom outdoes or experience outdoes the new kids, but man, Baltimore's they're playing solid football. To me, the Chargers are playing lucky football.
You think they've lucked into 12 wins?
Well,
not all 12, but
a lot of them.
them.
You look at their games. I mean,
a lot of people are saying that about the Texans this year too. How they,
Yeah, but I guess because I watched. So I guess because I'm watching the highlights of the Chargers game and I'm watching the complete Texans game, I can see that the Texans aren't getting lucky.
Right.
The Chargers seem like they're always somehow. I mean, but a win's a win. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
I think I watched the Chargers play 7 games this season, and I'll say this, man. Those guys want to make plays for Phillip Rivers. I mean, they really, really, really want to go out and sell out for.
They've rallied behind their quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's Phillip Rivers. That's what they've done. Eagles and Bears. The Eagles.
I want the Eagles, but it's going to be Bear. I think
so.
Philly's luck has run out. As much as I hate to say it.
Like I said, man, I think Foles has enough to go in there and pull out a win against an extremely tough defense in Chicago.
Yeah.
Again, vet versus rookie.
Yeah, but
more confidence in a Nick Foles who's just won a Super Bowl for you, who just brought you back from the dead to get you into the play. We should have had Holly call us.
I tried to
talk about it.
She got slammed today at work.
But I mean, Foles has been there. Trubisky, this is new waters for Trubisky. This is a new experience, and I can't think of a young first or second year quarterback to have huge success in the playoffs in the history of the NFL.
It's a different Philly team from last year. All their guys are pretty much on IR. I just don't think they have the personnel to go into Soldier Field and get the win. I want them to because I want to play them, but
Darren Sproles changes the game so much, man. That
So
guy, I
the
would have much rather not seen him when the Texans went to Philly. I think if he didn't play, obviously you take 14 points off the board because, or you take 10 points off the board because he obviously isn't there to make the plays that he made. But I mean, he just does so much, and the fact that him and Foles have a rapport. Um, and Lamont asked, do you think the Eagles are going to pay Foles his $1 million incentive? He missed the 33% by point tenth of yeah, that was talked about too. I think they do pay him because they're
Yeah, I
going to
do
do
too.
right by him.
Yeah.
And I think it's a mistake to do what they're going to do after they pay him because they're going to give him that $1 million incentive and they're going to go, we really appreciate it. Good luck. Be on your way. We have our quarterback.
They have to.
Yeah.
You can't pay that much to a backup quarterback. And Foles wants to be the starter.
Yeah. He wants to start.
I mean,
So what are your
financially-
thoughts? What are your thoughts on? So they tell him we're not going to re-sign you, and Jacksonville calls and says, "Hey, we want you to come be the starter for us here in
I think he goes
Jacksonville."
and plays for Tom Coughlin.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I think Foles is going to want to go to a good environment. I don't know that
That's not a good
Jacksonville is that
environment,
good environment, right?
Right.
So who needs a quarterback?
The Jets, the Bills. Well, no,
No,
the Bills.
Jets have a quarterback. They just
Oh
drafted.
yeah,
him.
they do have Sam Darnold. I'm thinking of the Dolphins. Are they going to bring Tannehill back?
Ooh, well, they had to have a head coach first.
Adam Gase,
Right.
man, that poor guy. He just, when he got the job, we were in. Was it Adam Gase? That was the game we went to Miami, and the week before they fired their head coach, and somebody stepped up as interim, and they blew us out. That was a game Arian popped his Achilles.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
How long did Denver sign Case for?
I think just a year.
If it's just a year, Foles will be a Bronco next year.
Hey man, I don't know, but John Elway needs a hit, and he needs to hit on one because if not, would Denver ever fire their golden boy? Would they tell John Elway you need to step away, dude? Because I mean,
he's but he's still beloved up there. As
That's
much
what I'm
as he has
saying,
screwed
like-
up that franchise, they still love him up
because
there.
there have to be people in the Broncos organization looking at Elway going, dude, we have to get rid of this dude. This is how do we end up with Case Keenum? And granted,
He's had a
to
fine
us,
year.
Case Keenum is a good quarterback,
Right.
but people in Denver, I would assume, don't see Case the same way.
No, my cousin lives up there, and they are huge Keenum fans.
Really?
They love Case Keenum up there.
That's a little surprising.
Well, I mean, he's got that big arm. I mean, look at who's come behind him. I mean, he hasn't had much to follow.
Minnesota's the idiots for signing Cousins that
Oh
big
my
deal.
gosh,
I mean, this guy.
they would love to have Nick Foles.
How you like that?
Oh, I know where Nick Foles is going to go.
Where's he-
Washington.
He could go to Washington.
That's where he's going to go.
Yeah.
He's going to play in the division.
Yeah, because Alex is done, right? Alex Smith, he's
Oh yeah, they said he'll probably never play football again.
he's probably not going to walk until this summer, right?
Well, no, I mean they screwed up on the surgery,
Did
so
really?
they said he's a year probably away from walking. They said that was the last report I had read.
Lamont says, depending on how Dak plays, Foles
Shut
could
up.
be in Dallas.
Shut up, bite your tongue. That's racism.
You know what, man?
That's
I got to
being
be honest with you,
racist.
man. If Nick Foles went to Dallas and they decided decided to replace Dak with Nick Foles, I think it would be the only season I would ever root for the Cowboys because I would want a Philadelphia Eagle Super Bowl winning quarterback leading the Dallas
Oh my
Cowboys to the
God.
Super Bowl because it would be like you Cowboy fans would be like, we're going to the Super Bowl. Yeah, bro, but it took a Philadelphia Eagle quarterback to get you there.
That on
It doesn't matter. He's a Cowboy now. The past doesn't matter. Really, the past doesn't matter.
Look.
Go ahead, say it, man. The past does 5 rings. Yeah. Well, I thought you just said the past doesn't matter, bro. Why are you talking about 5 rings? Come on.
there is one big lock in Dallas, and that is that Dak Prescott is not going anywhere
Yeah,
because that's
he's-
Jerry's boy.
He's y'all's guy.
When you're a Jerry boy, you're not going anywhere.
A Jerry
a
boy.
Jerry boy.
Isn't that what they call the little
Don't say it.
she
Don't.
boys in Taiwan or Brazil? I
Go
mean, seriously,
there.
isn't that what they're called? Jerry boys? I
Something
know.
like that.
I heard somewhere in the military, maybe it was in Guam, where you had to be careful when you went out because there were Jerry boys, and Jerry boys were basically
be.
chicks, dudes who look like chicks.
That's
It
frightening.
wouldn't tell you until the
Till-
morning after.
Till you did the deed. Yeah.
Why can't I turn
Dak's
on the
gonna be
light?
more.
No, you keep dark.
You keep
What?
dark. Don't worry about it.
I don't want to keep it
We
dark.
do the damn thing.
So that would be great.
So
But
that's
yeah, I
what's
don't think
happening.
Dak's going anywhere anyway. So it doesn't really matter.
Oh, whoa. This just in.
What's up?
According to Instagram, Von Miller's mom wants Jerry to call. What the hell?
Say
Jerry
what?
who?
Jerry Jones.
Elway talks possible Von Miller trade. Broncos GM not ruling out a trade with Von Miller. I think Von can play better. We have to look at all the possibilities, says Elway. Whoa. Then Von Miller's mom on Instagram. The problem is Elway. Uh-oh.
There you go. And I mean, it's obvious Elway's the problem. Come on,
And
man.
Jerry Jones, call my son. Oh shit! Can you imagine adding Von Miller to that Dallas defense
Yeah,
next year?
that would be scary. That would be, and I mean that's
I'll take that.
That's the thing about the Cowboys.
Yeah.
As well as they played this year, and the fact that they're going to start their playoff run tomorrow, bro. You add one or two pieces. You add one or two pieces to that either that linebacking core, or the secondary. You
You're looking
maybe
at Doomsday Part 2.
man, and they're
Part
going to
3.
be. I mean, we could be looking at the 85 Bears all over again.
The problem is that you're gonna have to start paying these guys now. So DeMarcus
That's
Lawrence is
always-
up.
Yeah.
Randy Gregory is up. You know, your whole pass rush, your whole line, it's up. Then the year after that, you got Dak and Zeke. So all those guys you drafted, they're coming up now.
So the window's
Getting
like
paid.
now, like the window's next year.
That's why they went out and got
Right?
Cooper.
Yeah,
That was
That
the
was a good
whole
move.
reason.
he's
You know, I
he's a season
criticize
changer, man.
I criticized giving up a number 1 at the time. I'll fully admit it. That was
It's
a
been
good
worth
move.
it.
That
Yeah.
Will McClay, the guy that does all the scouting and all the draft picks for the Cowboys, outside of one draft pick in the past 6 years, he has nailed every trade and every draft pick. The
Well,
only
that's
one
why
he got
when-
wrong was Tucker
That's why when
Charlton.
there was chatter going on before the season about Odell Beckham being traded, I saw a lot of people say I wouldn't give up a one for Odell Beckham.
I
Are you
wouldn't.
kidding me? I would right now.
He makes spectacular plays, but he doesn't make the easy plays. He doesn't catch the ball. all
You
the
know who
time.
makes easy plays? DeAndre Hopkins makes easy plays.
DeAndre Hopkins makes all the plays.
He makes all the plays.
He's
so
the best receiver in football.
You wouldn't need ODB to make the easy plays,
But
You-
he's not
you can-
reliable.
I would give him.
He's a head case. I don't need another head case at wide receiver.
I would give him a chance opposite Hopkins and see how it worked out. I mean, we see how Hopkins carries himself. You know, we see how he just goes about his business and does the work. And I mean, come on. If let's just say Hopkins goes down instead of Miller.
Yeah.
Do you think Deshaun has the same season throwing the football as he does?
Well, you see, and that's the thing in evaluating Deshaun, right? He's thrown to the best wide receiver in all of football.
Right.
So is it Deshaun or is it Nuke?
Oh,
It's a combination of
it's a
everything, right?
combination.
It all, as Pat would say, it all works together. So hard. That's why individual analysis in football is so hard. I think Deshaun has made some great plays happen. I still think he has a ways to go, because if you were to put him on it, let's say you put him in Indy, he's not the Deshaun with the success you see right now. But that doesn't mean he sucks at the same time. So everyone just calm down. I'm not saying he sucks. I'm just saying he's got an incredible wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
I think, it would have been, I think the Texans win tomorrow without any doubt if they still had Thomas and they still had Fuller.
Or that's what I meant, not Miller, Fuller.
Because
I don't know why I said Miller.
Oh, okay. So that's
I meant
okay.
Fuller.
Fuller.
So if Fuller's
That's a whole
health-
different game now.
If Fuller's healthy the entire season and DeAndre goes down like Fuller did,
Right.
How does our passing game look?
If DeAndre goes down, if Hopkins goes down and Fuller's still there,
Yeah.
you have no deep threat.
Yeah, but how would it change? Why are we even talking about this?
Dink and dunk.
Doesn't matter.
You know what's going to be interesting, and I hate it when people do this in the playoffs, but I'm going to do it anyway. So next year, looking at the Texans roster, you sign Fuller or not? You bring him back?
Man, that's a great question.
Because there's someone you can bring in who would.
I mean, I have to
Oh
see
my
who's.
God,
I have to see who's a free agent.
Cole Beasley. That dude.
But we kind of have our Cole Beasley if Kiki Kuti can stay healthy, right?
Cole never misses a freaking game.
Well, Andre Carter's been
The-
healthy as well.
The Texans are cursed by health every year on that offense.
No, I agree.
Cole Beasley's a freaking beast, and I don't know that Dallas is going to have enough money to re-sign him. You put him in the slut with Hopkins going out, and you don't have to have Fuller anymore. You don't have to count on him. I mean, you can re-sign him, but you don't have to count on him. Beasley does not miss a game. That dude plays with broken legs. I mean, that would be the ultimate get, I think, for the Texans.
Can you imagine one Julian Edelman? No, wait, Wes Welker coaching Cole Beasley,
Oh my God.
because Welker's the Texans
Yeah.
wide receiver coach, so
That would
that's who
be-
he would be playing under.
I'm telling you, that would be a great fit. And Cole's not loyal to a team.
Right.
He wants to get paid. He wants his due. And hey, look, any player that wants to go get his money, I'm never going to look down on. It's Cole's time to go get his money. He's earned it.
Antonio Brown worth the trouble?
No.
You
Let me
think so?
let me say something.
Well, he's not
about-
going anywhere.
Let me say something about AB. So part of this I can share, part of it I can't.
Oh no.
But
Oh no.
I know a lot of stuff about AB that there was reasons that he didn't, that Peter King didn't vote for him for the Pro Bowl. There's some stuff that if it ever came out about AB, it would be bad.
Is he gay?
No,
Okay.
that he's not. So I guess I can say this much because this is public. So my friend was paid by AB to go shoot a documentary of AB
Really?
for AB. And he basically lived at his crib for weeks, worked out with him. He told me all these stories about AB. I'm like, okay, come on, dude. I saw all of his footage.
Really? Wow.
I've seen text messages. That dude's a head case. I'm telling you.
That's awful. That is terrible to learn.
It is not good.
As great as he is, that's awful.
He's got problems.
That's
So if I'm Pittsburgh, I would not deal with it anymore. The thing is with AB, he can be the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah.
And then he can flip on you, any person on a dime.
So he's a female?
What's that?
He's a female?
He's a bitch?
No,
Is that
a
what you're saying?
female. Like you
Well-
call him bitches, you can call them bitches, but I'm saying asking if he's a girl.
No, he's not a girl.
Okay.
I don't think.
'Cause that's kind of what
I
they do.
didn't look at his wing, but
There weren't any dick pics.
no dick pics.
I don't know, Dustin. I don't know.
Texans are doing, that's a good point, Lamont. Texans are doing this without a first or second round pick. They are. Their quarterback was the first and second round pick.
Yeah, that's true. You can play that card, and that's fair. That's fair. But in
that was
reality,
the cost for your quarterback.
yeah, in reality, Watson was already on the roster, and you didn't have a pick in the first, second round. But Charlie Ployle says it. He says it in the promo on 975. It seems like after the first draft, Brian Gaine had his hands on. The Texans finally have somebody playing chess instead of playing checkers.
Yeah.
With third, fourth, and fifth round picks.
After
Finally,
one draft.
After one draft, I mean, it's only one draft.
Remember, they didn't have to concentrate on a first rounder or second.
Right.
I mean, their
Well, I
first
mean, yeah, they
rounder
could
was the third
definitely-
rounder, right? I mean, they got to narrow really in on that.
They can definitely tunnel vision the third and fourth round because they.
But-
didn't- right, that's fair.
But let's not take success away from him either. He nailed the draft. He had a good draft.
He had a great draft.
And hey, props to Rick Smith. His last draft was great.
Yeah,
I
mean, it
mean,
was good. Yeah,
He got the quarterback.
He got the quarterback.
And it seems like, I know everybody, not everybody. There's a lot of people that criticize Bill O'Brien for a lot of things. But him and Deshaun Watson seem to have a rapport with one another.
Yep.
And what Watson went and did for him in the last offseason, he didn't have to go and say, hey, I want O'Brien as my head coach.
Yep.
He could have stayed silent the whole time. There's stuff that happens with head coaches all the time that we'll never know about.
Yep.
The rapport that they have, the way that they coach. We see game day calls, and those are things. I think those are things that are fair to criticize. But to criticize a guy to say he's a good head coach or not, there's so much that a head coach does. I would say 90% of what a head coach does we never see. Now their game day operation, I think, is definitely open to criticize.
Right.
But the other stuff, we don't see any of that stuff. I don't know.
And they have a good relationship. That's important.
I think that, yeah. I mean,
Obviously, you see what's happening to a guy and a head coach who won 2 Super Bowls together, and they are in Pittsburgh, who are just now. It doesn't really seem like everyone's on the same page up there.
can you imagine if Bell and Brown go to Indy?
Go to Indy, yeah, it would suck. That would
behind that O
suck.
line that they're building in Indy
That would suck, man. But they
With-
have the money.
with Frank as the coach,
But again,
Mr. Offensive Genius.
I don't think. Listen, Antonio Brown's not going anywhere. That contract they have him under,
Nah, no, one's
he's
gonna want
going to have to pull a Le'Veon Bell. Meaning, if he doesn't want to be there anymore, he's gonna have to sit out next year.
that. Yeah,
To
and,
where the Steelers say, okay, we're gonna void your deal.
and from what I've seen of him, he'll do it.
He'll do it.
Yeah, he'll do it.
Hey, man, he's got one of his good buddies sitting there, who's more than capable of telling him, take the year off. Look at me. I can't
Yeah.
wait to go. I'm
Yep.
ready to go. I'm fresh. Everything's healed. I mean, I haven't felt like this since before college started.
Yeah.
You know, and
They got a disaster. I mean,
They-
Tomlin has got a disaster.
and it's unfortunate
deal with.
because I put none of it on Tomlin. I mean, that guy has a track record there in Pittsburgh, and they've been so successful for so long under him, and it's not something.
Have they?
Yeah, I mean, they won 2 Super Bowls. You know,
with Cowher's guys.
I mean, the first one was with Cowher's guys for sure. The second one, that's all Tomlin. But even then, man, they're a perennial playoff team. You know, they always seem to just have an opportunity and be right in it. And look, I know we talk a lot of shit about, okay, so Bill O'Brien can win, Gary Kubiak can win a first round playoff game. Big deal, whoopee. I mean, that's just fans being, we're just
Yeah.
being fans. The reality of it is extremely difficult to do that.
Yeah.
It's
it
extremely
is.
difficult to win the division 3 times out of 5 years like Bill O'Brien has had,
Right.
and then he did it in a year where he lost 2 wide receivers, and that was pretty much the extent of the injuries. Knock on wood, lucky for the Texans. They've actually had a good year injury wise.
With what was perceived to be a weak offensive line coming in.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, look.
In a division where Tennessee, for however they ended up doing what they did, they were a fucking solid football team.
Yep.
And so Indy's good. Like, we may see how good Indy is.
The team that won the division last year is the team that we thought was going to win the division this year was one of the crappiest teams in the NFL.
I mean, it was crazy that cliff dive for Jacksonville, man. That's something that
it tells you locker room chemistry is important.
Absolutely, man. I think years from now, something's going to come out about this season and what happened in Jacksonville, where we're going to be like, whoa, like, wow, like it's going to.
Where's Fournette going to go next year?
Where is he going to go next year?
You want him in Houston?
I mean, I wouldn't pay him. I mean, you can't trust him. He's just like Will Fuller.
Yeah.
He's just like Chris Paul. He's always going to have soft tissue injuries where you just can't count on him.
See, that's where I know Dallas and there's another team that got a lot of heat for drafting a running back high. But I remember when they drafted Zeke, one of the things that they were saying about Zeke was there's no history of soft tissue injuries. He's built like a tank. And I think
Lamont brings up a good point. Go ahead.
What did he say?
I don't think Tomlin won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. He won 2.
He won his first year, and then not the year after, but the year after that. So
yeah, Ben has 3 rings, 1 with Cowher,
right,
and then 2 with Tomlin. Yeah,
they won Tomlin's first year and his third year.
Yeah,
if I remember right. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, they when they drafted Zeke high, one of the things that they were doing was looking at his injury history, and running backs go fast. So, is this guy going to be a guy that has all these soft tissue injuries? And they did all those medical reports on him specifically for soft tissue stuff.
And let me tell you something, man. It was an incredible year for the undrafted or the late drafted, really unknown guys. You look at the 2 guys that Denver has in their stables.
Yeah.
You look at Connor up in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
You look at I said his name earlier, the Seattle running back.
Oh yeah. I know who you're talking about, though. Yeah.
I mean, the Seattle running back was fantastic. You look at these guys stepping in for Akeem Hunt for the Chiefs, who, Williams, I think is the kid's name. Yep. He came out like a ball of fire.
The kid in Seattle reminds me a lot of Arian Foster.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
And it's not just because he was undrafted, just the way he runs. He's a smooth runner. He's not a pound guy. He'll slip right through you.
I mean, James Conner for Pittsburgh, he may be ruining running back deals for a good amount of time in the NFL, where teams are like, we don't have to pay. We just have to be talent evaluators, and we just have to find the right one.
Yeah.
And we don't have
I
to
mean-
pay him shit.
Right.
I mean, really, Lindsey and the other kid in Denver and Connor, they're all the same type of running backs. They run really hard. They finish runs. They're capable of catching the ball out of the backfield.
Yeah.
They're everything you would want. And I mean, they can pick up the blitz.
Yeah.
They're everything you would want in a running back. And these guys are making nickels compared to what Todd Gurley. Granted, Todd Gurley's one of the best running backs in the league. Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, man. It was just.
Well, I think that's how Dallas has built this defense. Late round picks.
Yeah.
I mean, they took a chance on Randy Gregory in the second round and Jalen Smith in the second. Those two guys have been playing out of their minds, both first round picks, but because of weed and because, the other one was never supposed to walk again.
Right.
I mean, people can say what they want about Jerry, but that dude will gamble.
You think about it. Ezekiel, you could argue that he deserved to be picked where he was picked.
Oh, sure.
But how many other running backs can you say that about that are in the league right now?
Probably not a lot. I mean, the thing with Zeke, you got to remember when they drafted him, Romo was their quarterback.
Right.
And so they looked at two things with Zeke because they knew he was fast and all that. It was health, and the big thing was blocking ability. They wanted to be able to use him as an O lineman to give Romo more time to throw the ball and not die. And
they did it right, man.
Blocker.
They that was a good pick. I mean,
him or Jalen Ramsey, I would still go with Zeke.
Yeah, and I think the guys that were awesome this year, again, just seemed like they just fell into their opportunities to play.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna further change how running backs are drafted and looked at in the draft.
Yeah,
because it had already been changed, right? It already changed.
Yeah,
I think Fournette went overall number 1.
I think you're right.
Why would you? I mean, if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, why would you do that again? Unless
you wouldn't.
The next Herschel Walker's coming through college,
right?
So
he's got to be a 5-tool back to really.
It's funny, man, because like I said, these young guys that really excelled this season, they came out of nowhere. Essentially, they really changed the way in a negative way. It could be in a negative way the way they changed the outlook on running backs in the draft. So, I mean, luckily Connors is healthy until he gets paid, and the guys up in Denver, hopefully they can stay healthy until their time is up to get paid, and then.
What position do you want the Texans to draft at first round? Regardless of the name, because I'm a name guy. I'm usually you draft a person on a position, but what position would you like to see them draft in the first round?
Man, I don't want to see him waste another first round pick on a corner. I think that you don't have to. You don't have to take corner in the first round. You could find one in the third round. They found Jalen Ramsey Justin Reed in the fourth round.
Yeah.
Right. So you can get a cornerback. You can get a DB third, fourth round. Man, I don't know. I'm just ready to see Deshaun be able to turn around, hand the football off, and a running back run through a hole that was created by the offensive line that was put together through draft and free agency, kind of like the Cowboys have done.
Right.
I'm ready to see defenders not engaging a Texan running back until 4 yards down the field.
Yeah.
4 yards off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I miss that because right now, in the way that they've run the football, and the Texans they've had that at times this season. They've had that, not consistently enough, but it's been there. And then, I mean, just to know, third and 1, third and 2, third and 3, just hand the ball off and go pick it up.
Yeah.
Because your offensive line is going to do what needs to be done to create the hole and move the football. And so I would lean offensive line.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You need a horse there. You need a
right
staple there.
Right.
You need your Teron Smith. You need your Nick Martin.
So did you stay up for the game last night?
I did.
It was worth it, right?
Yeah. Oh my God, that was crazy.
Talking about the Rockets and Golden State.
That was, I mean, James Harden is just unreal. Like I don't know if you saw it during the day. They were running a deal from the Tonight Show or one of those late night shows, and Kobe was the guest, and he was saying, who would you build your team around if you could have one player in the NBA? And he said James Harden. I'm not gonna lie, I was like, not that James is bad, but he wouldn't be the guy I'm thinking of. I'm going to say
Really?
LeBron
Yeah.
because I think he's the best player on the planet. I know there's a lot of hate towards LeBron. The dude is he's still freaking good, right?
Yeah.
But damn.
But Kobe would pick James.
I mean, and after last night, that's the kind of stuff that Kobe is seeing is just that out of nowhere, he pops a three. I did not think he was going to make the three.
Oh, I knew he was going to shoot it. I knew he was
I knew he was
going
going to shoot it.
I knew he was going to take a shot.
I didn't know it would go in like that. And then look at Draymond and go, "Sup, bitch," when he fell on the floor.
Well, Draymond's a piece of shit. We all know
Can't
that.
stand that guy.
I tell you what, man. What last night, like even as well as James Harden has been playing over the past month and a half, even the huge season he had last year and winning the MVP, and really being in MVP contention the last really 4 years.
Yeah.
I noticed a couple of things last night that really built my confidence in James Harden because he showed me that he's still growing as a basketball player.
Yeah.
So late in the game, when Austin Rivers hit his three, which was a huge three, I think.
And how about Austin Rivers?
Yeah, man, he's been a great pickup, man. He's been a great pickup. When he hit that three in overtime, James didn't mess around and get cute.
Right.
Rivers set the pick. They went to trap James, and James immediately got rid of the ball in a position where all Rivers had to do was catch it, square up, and shoot.
Right.
And I mean, that showed growth because in the past, he maybe tries to split the double team and loses the ball, or tries an ill-advised pass, to Austin Rivers that gets tipped. And now, but the way he didn't hesitate.
Right.
He knew what was going on. He made the pass. And then another play, he came across half court, and Steph and Clay came to trap him.
Yep.
Just like they did at the end of Game 6.
Yep. I remember
2 years ago,
talking about,
right?
Yep.
And he loses the ball.
Yep.
Sometimes, even at the NBA level, and this is why I'm always preaching about fundamentals, even at the NBA level, and how important it is to continue working on your fundamentals, even at the highest peak of basketball, which is the NBA, right?
Right.
They come to trap him. He recognizes it. Again, doesn't get cute, doesn't try anything crazy, crosses over and does a textbook escape dribble,
Right.
which is sliding backwards, escape dribble, and redirects his path, and then he swings the ball and the offense gets going. I think that was the play. Maybe Rivers penetrated. 2 passes later, he got to the rim and laid it up.
Said penetrate.
But those little things, man, is what I've been speaking on. And another one in the fourth quarter, when the Rockets were kind of, they went cold at the end, where they were down 1,
Right.
and then the Warriors would go up 4,
back and forth,
and then they would go down 1 and go down 4. But then for a couple of possessions, each team traded misses. I want to say the Warriors were missing mid-range jumpers. The Rockets were missing 3-pointers. And that's when I tweeted out settle.
Right.
Because it just felt like they were settling for threes. Well, next possession down, what does James do? And he missed the shot.
Right. Another one you're talking about. Yeah.
But he penetrated, he got in the lane, and he stepped back and he took a 12-footer.
Yep.
A 12-footer that was wide open.
Yep. He didn't stop.
Right.
Like he kept playing through the play.
He didn't settle, and instead of taking another 3 in which they'd missed 4 or 5 in a row, he actually penetrated and he took a mid-range jumper. Now, granted, he didn't make it, but because he did that allowed him that maybe allowed the other guys to get a little bit more space on their shots, because now you're thinking, well, what the hell? He just took a mid-range.
Right.
Like, because as the Warriors, they're coached well enough, and Steve Kerr's smart enough to understand it. Look, come fourth quarter, when you get 2 or 3 possessions down and the Rockets start hoisting threes, they're in the zone and they're going to keep hoisting them. And if they keep missing them, just give it to them. Let them have that.
Right.
And by James penetrating and taking that shot,
kind of threw him out of rhythm.
I mean, it's still amazing me. I said this on the podcast when I did by myself last week. I still don't understand, as like people were talking about James Harden being the best scorer in the league today for sure.
Right.
Which I agree with. But where does he stand in the pantheon of great scorers in the history of the league? I've heard top 10, I've heard top 5, I heard top 3. I'm pretty sure you can make an argument for all of that.
Of all time?
Of all time. Simply scoring.
Right.
I mean,
right.
he's amazing. But I still am trying to figure out how somebody this good, somebody this great, somebody this talented cannot shoot a jump shot moving forward. I
Right.
cannot figure it out. Like this dude, every shot he takes, if it's not a layup, because a layup doesn't count, a layup's a layup.
Yep.
But as far as a jump shot, everything has to be moving away from the bucket.
Right.
And so when you talk about the great shooters like a Ray Allen, right?
Right.
Like a Dell Ellis, like a Craig Hodges, like a Danny Ainge,
Right.
a Larry Bird, what was it? It was squaring up to the bucket, receiving the pass, your little hop forward towards the your momentum going
Right.
towards the basket as you release the basketball.
Lets it carry you towards the,
Right.
the bucket. Yeah.
James Harden is
Bird
doing
did that all the time.
opposite of that.
Yeah.
So to compare
He likes to stop, set, shoot.
So to compare his accuracy with those all-time great shooters, we have to take into account that this dude is moving away from the goal before he's taking that shot.
Right.
You know how difficult that is?
It's crazy.
I mean, look, man, I'm 41. I played basketball for like 30 years. And, I can still get out there and shoot it with the best of them. And I shot like 2 weeks ago at my mom's gym at
Mhm.
school. And I was trying to do the step back. And
How many shots before you were out of breath?
I don't run out of breath when I shoot, Dustin.
Shit. You're an
Anytime.
old man.
Hey, man, like I said, somebody's brave enough. If somebody has a connection to hook it up in Toyota Center, get me inside the Toyota Center, shoot the basketball, bring your money, and let's go see what it's about.
Yeah.
Because I'll take your money. I mean, I can still shoot the basketball.
I bet Raheel has connections.
I would like Rahil's the basketball shooting he did betting. I'm kind of gonna bash on you a little bit, Rahil. That was pathetic.
Damn.
Come on, bro.
Oh,
nobody
the whole
was guarding you.
mybookie.com thing.
Yeah,
they did?
nobody was
Yeah.
guarding you. I can't remember if it was timed.
Sad Raheel.
But even if it was timed, I mean, come on, man. You got to find your flow. You got to find your rhythm. Anyway, it's just amazing to me that this guy is doing what he's doing and doesn't feel the need at all to create momentum going to the basket when he takes his jump shots.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's like, we saw AI do it. Steve Nash would do it. There was a selected few players in the past that would utilize the step back, but they would utilize it inside the key.
Yeah.
On 2-point shots.
Yeah, he does it from the outside.
I mean, he does it not just do it from the outside, but he does it from deep.
Yeah.
I mean, he's talking like there are some step backs that are carrying him 3-4 feet behind the 3-point line.
Right.
And if you've never shot an NBA 3,
it's far.
It's far.
It's far.
I mean, it's far.
I got to try to win at the summit one time. I was like, good Lord.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't. He makes it look way easier than it really is. So
yeah, he does.
Credit to him and the way they're playing. And last night somebody I can't remember who it was tweeted at me and said, "Are you finally going to give Daryl Morey credit?" And I said, "No, because the Rockets got better when they stopped playing 3 of the guys that he brought in this offseason. When Michael Carter-Williams stopped seeing playing time, when Ennis, listen, I call him Josh Ennis, but his name is something Ennis. When he took that 3 from the corner, okay, Dustin, this is how it works. You're standing at the free throw line, right in the left corner, in the right corner, threes. To some people, the easiest to make because they're the closest, right. Some it's the hardest because you don't have the background of the backboard, for your depth perception,
right.
When you're on the left-hand side of the free throw lane in that corner, and you're right-handed,
right,
and you square up to shoot, you should never hit the side of the backboard,
right,
because you're right-handed and the backboard technically is on your left-hand side,
right. You're at an angle,
dude. Ennis, he squared up that backboard. I mean, the ball hit dead center in the side of the backboard, and it couldn't have been more perfect because it came off so clean.
Right.
Michael Carter-Williams, Ennis, this other Carter kid, you haven't seen him in a while. I don't know if he got hurt or whatever, wherever he went. I don't know. Once those 3 guys stopped playing before Austin Rivers got here, the Rockets started playing better.
But Morey went out and got Austin Rivers.
Dude, let me tell you something.
Here we go.
Fantastic Fantastic signing. Austin Rivers has a chip on his shoulder. He has something to prove. He's athletic. He's quick. He's got a decent enough shot, but he understands his role. He understands he's more effective getting to the cup than taking a three-pointer.
Right.
He knows how to facilitate, right? He knows how to take the lead in an offense. Let's say if Harden's on the bench and Paul's not playing, he understands and he has the mentality to do so because he's been doing it for so long. Austin Rivers didn't have a choice. Daryl Morey didn't have a choice. If you're Austin Rivers and you get bought out by the Wizards are a complete mess.
Right,
I mean, they're
they're
terrible.
garbage.
How do you let Austin Rivers go when you currently have crap on your roster as well? Anyway, that's a different story for a different time. But if you're Austin Rivers and Daryl Morey picks up the phone, this is probably how it happened, right? Daryl's sitting in his desk, running data, running,
Data boy.
data points and all that good stuff, and going, yeah, see, James is making shots, and Clint Capella is earning the money that we paid him, and PJ Tucker continues to shoot it well. And wait, what is the Wizards are gonna buy out Austin Rivers? Would I chase Austin Rivers? Would I sign him? Man, probably not.
Here he goes
Probably.
again, folks.
Oh, hold on. Bring. It's Daryl. Oh, hey, what's going on? You got the results for CP3's hamstring, huh? Oh yeah. Oh no. No way. 7 games, 8 games, maybe 10 games. Man. All right. Well, let's get it right as fast as we can. Bye. Man, CP3 is gonna be out almost 10 games. Brandon Knight looked like shit, and there's another guy I brought in. He can't shoot the three like I thought he could. Plus, he's coming off an injury. I mean, how much can I rely on that guy anyway? Man, you know what? Boop, beep, boop, 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 boop.
I like the sound effects.
Hey, what's going on? Whatever agent he called, right? Can you ask your boy if he's willing to come sign a deal with us for the rest of the year? Yeah, we want him. We love him. We love him. I mean, we were surprised Washington cut him, and
The data tells me so.
I'm running analytics on what he did as far as when he was in wherever, blah blah blah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, just tell him this is what we're offering. We're willing to offer him this if he wants to come be on a roster, for the rest of the season and maybe play for a future contract. Yeah, for sure, no problem. All right, buddy. You tell Austin we said hello. Okay, bye.
You hate Daryl Morey.
And then Austin Rivers gets the call, and he's like, "Who called? The Rockets? They said what? CP3's hurt. They need another guard. In D'Antoni's offense, I can shoot as much as I want. Oh, I don't care what they're offering. Tell them yes. I'm on my way to Houston." And it was just one of those situations where it all worked out.
It did.
It all worked out. Daryl Morey doesn't get the credit for going out and finding Austin Rivers.
He brought him in, though.
But because there was no other choice. Who is he going to
Still brought
call?
him in.
Who is he going to call once you figure out that CP3? And let me tell you
He
something.
brought in Harden, the best player in basketball right now.
And guess who fell into Daryl Morey's lap?
Who?
James Harden. Why? Because the Thunder weren't going to pay
the trade
him.
happen.
Wait a second.
Oh my gosh!
Do you remember the pile of trash?
We almost got out of here without this happening.
Do you remember the pile of trash OKC accepted
I remember
to not pay Harden to get him?
Because Daryl
knowing
did an
his-
analytical Jedi mind
I
trick.
don't think it had anything to do with analytics.
Look, it was
man.
everything about the Excel spreadsheet and the analytics.
Man, you can sell that to the people that are on the oceanfront property in Arizona if you want to, but that is not how. Now, granted, did he take advantage of Oklahoma City? Yes. Did Oklahoma City
yeah,
make
he
a
did.
huge mistake? Yes, absolutely. Oklahoma made a huge mistake, but they couldn't afford James Harden if they were going to continue to pay Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, and they were willing to get anything for him. And if you look at it, what OKC ended up doing was a salary dump by taking on who they took on,
Right.
and to get rid of Harden. So no, Daryl Morey didn't pull some fancy music string or wave a magic wand or anything like that. He took the deal that fell into his lap with James Harden.
But he took it.
Granted, he's smart enough to take it. Absolutely.
He took it.
Absolutely. And he loved James Harden because there was no time. There was no time in between that deal being approved and Daryl Morey saying James Harden is our superstar. He may be in 6 man in Oklahoma City,
Right.
but he's going to be our superstar. And I give it to Daryl Morey. I don't know if I'm willing to say that this is exactly who he saw James Harden becoming. Because if that was the case, they never would have brought in Kevin McHale. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true. That's true.
They wouldn't have hired Kevin McHale to pair with James Harden if he really thought James Harden was going to be who he is today. So, say what you will, congratulations, Daryl Morey. You lucked into another good situation. Like you lucked into another situation that covers up the terrible situation you put yourself into by signing the guys that you did this offseason.
They're winning, Manny.
Come on, man.
They're winning.
They are winning. They've turned it around. They're like 2.5 games out of the 1 seed in the West. That's incredible considering their start.
They had a horrible start.
Like they're doing exactly what the Texans did.
Yeah. Isn't it weird that the Cowboys, the Texans, the Rockets, hell, if I remember right, last season, the Astros even started out shitty.
Yeah, they did. They started out slow.
Well, shitty for a World Series.
But yeah, you're right.
It's weird.
Yeah, remember World Series hangover?
Yep. So you say Texans and Seattle. I say Cowboys and Texans. Then you say Chargers
Yeah,
and Philly.
and Philly. Going with the vets at QB.
You're on drugs. And I say Raven and Chicago.
Real says he'll go social dark if the Texans win the Super Bowl.
No, he says we all have to.
Oh, we all have to?
We all have to go social dark for a month.
I went social dark for like a month and a half after the Astros won.
Yes, she did.
Just because I was like, I needed to decompress. Like I needed to.
I went social dark during Harvey for 2 weeks.
We
I
kind of
remember
busy.
Pat was calling me going, dude,
Where you
are
at?
you okay? Are you
Yeah.
alive? Yeah, I'm fine.
So I go on nights this week.
All right.
So if we're gonna do another one, it'll be next Friday. Maybe. But I'll definitely
You need to get your everyone's internet account to work or your AOL disk.
I mean, it's ran great tonight. It's actually, I think that little extender finally is working.
Oh yeah, you know what? Great reminder, Steve. So how about the University of Houston?
Oh, Dana
hiring Dana as the head coach. You know what? That is fantastic. And here's what's even better. The Houston Texans are going to take time to celebrate Dana tomorrow at the game.
They are.
And that should excite every fan in that stadium. If you're a fan there tomorrow and you're not excited, guess what? You're not a true Texan fan. You're not. You're not a true Texan fan if you're not excited about Dana being celebrated tomorrow at the game. Swan is not happy about this. And so, Swan, I say that you're not a real fan.
Why is Swan not? Why would she even care? Why is she not happy about it?
It's the U of H thing.
She doesn't like U of H? I didn't even know. I wasn't even aware Swan had a college team.
Oh, she's got all the college teams that are successful, except for the Horns. She stays with the Horns, but she's a Tar Heels fan sometimes. She's a Cleveland Indians fan sometimes. Hell, she even has a tweet saying she's a Texas Rangers fan sometimes. It's just whatever fan base has her going at that moment. But yeah, congratulations to Dana and congratulations to the University of Houston. Congratulations for the Houston Texans for celebrating Dana tomorrow at the game.
I will say this, Dustin, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I was so happy that Dana came home.
I'm too.
I mean,
I was too.
I'm really, really, really happy that he came home because West Virginia offered him an extension.
Yep.
That he declined. He had 2 years left on his deal.
Yep.
He waited. I don't know if this was intentional or not, but he waited. By the time he left West Virginia, because it happened after 2000 because it happened in 2019, like the buyout went down tremendously,
right,
which helped U of H.
Right.
And look, man, this is just a case of a guy wanting to be here.
See, that's my point of view. We finally have a coach that wants to be at the University of Houston.
Right.
Not someone that just wants the opportunity to be at U of H, but someone that wants to be at the University of Houston.
And let me tell you something.
And that's a big deal.
Let me tell you something. Something's going on. Well, something's going on over at the University of Houston that is really transcending their athletic department. It's pushing it to places that it's rarely